Bored and annoyed.
So, folks, I know we promised a dark discussion.
Yeah, we did.
That's going to come next week.
Yeah, we got.
We might have some general thoughts and shit we watched because we both have finished it now, right?
Yeah, and we got a little bit of a double feature next week with both that and Stranger Things 3.
Yes, Stranger Things.
So that's what's coming next week for you guys. But this week we've got the latest Spider-Man: Far From Home, and we've got a real classic, Vampire's Kiss.
Let's get into it. Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome to Bored and Annoyed. I am home at the movies.
I'm Jackson.
But first, as always, we do our news section.
Sure.
Bringing you the most important and the most entertaining news that you will get all day. It's the movie news with a couple of rabble-rousers, Jackson and Home at the Movies. It's Bored and Annoyed with the news.
So, the new Fast and the Furious has started filming.
Okay.
So I know that you're just a huge fan.
I can't wait. I never saw 8. I got to watch 8.
Yeah, that's right. This is 9.
This is 9.
I made sure to say the new Fast and Furious just so I kind of covered all my bases.
Yeah, the last one was Fate of the Furious.
That's right. Yeah. But the real news, I liked this quite a bit. Batista had something to say about these Fast and Furious movies. So a fan goes on Twitter and says, hey, you should be a villain in one of these, and face off against The Rock and Jason Statham. And he goes, ha, 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 ha. Thanks for the suggestion, but I prefer to be in good films.
Yeah, I saw somebody say something about that, and then they were like, Dave Bautista prefers to be in good films, and it was like that Breakout 2 or whatever with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, right.
And I'm holding out hope that his movie with the
Kumail
Indian dude is going to be good. Stuber, but
I'm really excited because I like both of them a lot.
Yes,
and
me too.
I think the trailer was actually pretty good for
kind of funny. It looks kind of funny.
Yeah, dumb
buddy cop type movie. Yeah.
But we've also got some other news. This is a little depressing. Jurassic World's 2. What's that? Hidden World, Secret World, New World,
Lost World. No, Jurassic World.
Fallen Kingdom.
Jay
Bayona, the director of that, is now going to be helming the new Lord of the Rings series for Amazon.
Okay, well, see, he made a movie. I believe he made a Monster Calls, and he made. Oh, did he make The Orphanage or something?
Okay.
But no, I don't. That doesn't bother me. I don't think it's his fault.
I'm a little trepidatious. I'm trepidatious.
I believe. I mean, if you look at his, I'm pulling up his list of movies right now. So yeah, he did The Orphanage, Lego Batman movie.
Oh, he did Lego
Monster
Batman?
Calls. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's bad. I think that movie was just. I mean, there was some, considering what he had to work with.
Are you going to say something positive?
Yeah,
about that
I'm
movie?
not going to say it was an ugly movie. Especially like his little, that one scene with the raptor going into the little girl's bedroom was like, that was fucking great looking. But yeah,
I guess if you had to film a stupid scene like that, yeah, I guess that was okay.
It was probably my favorite looking scene of the movie. It's not an ugly movie. So I'm not going to blame him. I don't think he wrote Fallen Kingdom. So
okay.
So yeah, no, I'm going to
we'll see. I don't know. That's his most recent work. So what have you done for me lately?
Well, if you haven't seen The Orphanage, you should watch that. It's like it's produced by Guillermo del Toro, and it's like about this little boy that goes missing like at this orphanage. Okay. Or like it's a former orphanage that the boy's mom grew up in.
All right.
And it is really fucking good, dude.
Okay.
Really good. So yeah, but no, we're split on that. That's fine.
That's fine. Let's see what else. Nicholas Winding Refn actually had thoughts about doing a female superhero movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess at one point he was pitching a movie to Warner Brothers for Wonder Woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was pitching it with Jessica Henwick as Wonder Woman, but I guess they were never going to cast her. But yeah, now he's kind of moved on to Batgirl, and he's like, this would be a great property for me to do. And it's like, Nicholas, you haven't.
What was his last movie?
Neon Demon.
Never saw it. You told me not. You told me it wasn't very good. You didn't like it, but I've heard it was good from other people.
Between that and Only God Forgives,
that was his other one.
Yeah, he's on a downward spiral.
Okay.
Drive was his high. That one with Mads Mikkelsen where he plays a Viking.
Okay,
that
he
one's
made that
really
one.
good.
I never saw that.
That's
the only one I've seen is Drive.
great.
I think
Drive's great.
Yeah,
Drive's a modern classic. So I mean, if he can channel that kind of shit, but he's so up his own ass nowadays. Like that's his problem.
He's pretentious, right?
He's pretty pretentious.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you know that thing called like narrative thrust? Like maybe put that in your movies.
He doesn't have that.
Yeah.
No.
I think that could have been a topic for this week about
It's funny because
narrative.
Drive was like all narrative thrust.
Yeah.
It's like the essence of narrative thrust.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's kind of fitting, you know.
It's called
Drive.
Yeah.
Last and biggest piece of news, we have Haley Bailey as the new live action Little Mermaid.
Yep.
Also, in much less big news, Jacob Tremblay is also joining.
Oh, really?
Aquafina is joining.
I saw that. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And Melissa McCarthy is in talks to be Ursula. So that cast is taking shape.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I'm going to lead this. So here's where I'm at. I do think that it is a purposeful move because obviously this is somehow controversial to cast a black Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it's Disney being Disney these days, but I don't care. I'm not going to get bent out of shape about it. I just don't care. I don't care.
I don't care. I mean, my thought.
I want a good movie. That's all I care about. Really.
Right. I mean, my thought is always and will always be, you know, okay, it's a fantasy world. There's no reason that, you know, mermaids can't be African American.
Sure.
I mean, who cares about that? I think people have more of an issue as to the intention behind it.
That's what I mean. That's where I'm like, I don't. And it's sad that I believe this way. I could be 100% wrong, but I highly doubt that Disney wasn't looking for a specific type of person to cast as Little Mermaid. Like, I highly doubt there was a line of women of all races and whatever, and they picked just the best one because they thought she was the best one. There was probably a mixture of factors playing into who they picked. Right. And I believe one of them is that. But she could be really good. So who gives a shit?
I'm sure.
Right?
I'm sure she'll be fine. My whole issue with it is like I just don't care about these Disney live action remakes after Aladdin.
They're just doing all of them now, right?
I'm just after Aladdin just destroyed its own potential. I just don't.
What about Lion King? Still excited for that?
saying. I mean, that's sort of the asterisk. Is like if you get a competent or not even a competent, a good director behind one of these.
Yeah, he's awesome, right?
I'll be more excited, but right now I don't know any reason to be excited for this.
Though, some of the voice acting work I've heard and the little clips I've seen have got me a little concerned. Like, I mean, Beyonce sounds very wooden to me.
I've never thought Beyonce is a good actress.
Right.
And that was the one piece of casting, if I'm being very forthcoming, that's the one piece of casting that I was like, I don't know about this. Everybody else is pitch perfect for their casting. Well, I don't know,
because I saw even James Earl Jones, I saw him it was like a behind the scenes of him doing the voice work. And one of the lines he said, I'm just like, I hope they didn't keep that take.
I mean, we really don't. I mean, it's one of those we got to wait and see.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little more concerned than I was. Let's just put it that way. But it's going to be a fucking treat to look at.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And Jon Favreau understands film structure and narrative structure.
Right.
So
he does.
At the end of the day, it's going to be emotionally engaging, whether or not all the line delivery is on or not.
Yep.
We don't know.
But as far as the Black Little Mermaid, I don't know. I did hear that the Sebastian might not be a lobster anymore. He might be a seal, which is a little more concerning.
Why would you make that change?
Well, I was thinking about that. Can you make a live action lobster look, you know what I'm saying? Like that might be it.
You can't make them look friendly. They look like little
scary
demons.
Aliens.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think you hit the nail on the head on that.
But that's lame. I mean,
it is Sebastian. It is lame. It's really funny though. It's really funny.
If it's true.
Yeah, my thought has always been on this, like, okay, like race swapping or whatever. It's kind of like, okay, so my dad grew up reading Thor. And
Sure.
so when they cast Idris Elba,
He was like, what the fuck?
yeah, he was like, oh, what is a black man? I'm like, but they're aliens from space.
Yeah,
It's
true.
like, they could
But
be
they're
anything.
supposed to be like the to his defense, it's like they're supposed to be like the representation of like Norsemen, aren't they?
It's
Like-
like the Norse worship them.
Sure.
Doesn't mean that they have to be necessarily Norse.
but the Norse never even, like,
it could be
saw
that the
black
Norse.
people.
It could be that the Norse built their society around what they saw
Right.
from those people.
Well, and in that one doesn't like I can't like I don't see that one as like, oh, let's cast a black guy for this. I feel like that was just the
Idris
best.
Elba
Yeah.
is amazing.
This
and he
one
brought
feels
something.
a little bit like, okay, it would be one thing if this was like some huge star.
We got to see what she's capable
Right,
of.
we don't
I
know
feel.
anything about her. Maybe
Right.
she'll be great. I don't know. But
Yeah,
whatever.
I feel like it might be done a little in bad faith, though, just because they know that it starts the conversation and people will rally behind it. And more often than not, the people who actually go to movies are the people who would be like, yes, representation.
Right.
And it's like, well, okay, well, you drummed up your fan base with like a false battle that's not even happening, really.
Well, all buzz is good buzz. Isn't there a saying like that where it's like if nobody's talking
I really
about
don't
it,
agree with
I
that.
mean, but
we
you know
should
what
say
I'm
that to
saying?
the new Sonic movie.
That's true. I mean, but who was going to go see that? Like, nobody was going to talk about that.
That's true. It might have actually. No, I think if you made a good-looking Sonic trailer, people might have been excited.
That's true.
But, anyways, it's news only because people get upset about it.
Any other news?
That's it for news. So we can go on to. We've got 2 reviews. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's get into our segment of the week here.
A, B, C, D.
You just put it in the right file, according to alphabetical order.
So,
Oh yeah, this is Blart. If you need me, I'm over by the kiosks.
are you the avatar on?
All right, everyone, chill.
What, we some kind of suicide squad?
Oh my God!
Wait a minute. How old are you?
Anyway, how is your sex life?
Will you poop on me?
Oh, I got a lot of shit on you.
What? No.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
Oh, hi, Mark.
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S.
I can't go on with this. I'm an American. I'm an American. I love this country.
Not the bears! Ah!
Let's go eat, huh?
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
That's all you have to do!
Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah.
So funny enough, I had never heard of this movie until 3 days before you brought it up. When somebody I was with at work, we were talking about Nicolas Cage, and he brought it up, and then you brought it up. So we watched it.
Yes.
It is, it's so like early 90s, late 80s. First of all, like with the New York City shots and the, you know,
The cliche thing to say about it is that it's a descent into madness.
it is. I mean, that makes it sound like it's dramatic and interesting, but
It's
yes,
not.
it is a descent into madness.
You are watching peak Cage, though. This is Cage unhinged.
It is.
Uncaged Cage, if you will.
It really is. I mean, he talks with like a,
So
dad.
we talked a little bit before the podcast. He based that on his father because his father was like a well-educated man into literature. I guess he worked for like a book publishing company for a while. So that's what he thinks that his dad sounds like.
Jesus.
So that might explain like a lot about Nicolas Cage.
Well, yeah, he's got this inflection on his word. Dude,
Well, it's not so much that I told her, you need to get out of my house. Like, he's like Christopher Walken meets like Keanu Reeves meets Nicolas Cage.
Right, and he does this thing with his eyebrows and his eyes and scenes, and it's just... But yeah, the plot is basically this asshole literary agent guy sleeps with this woman, and she like bites his neck or something. I'm not entirely clear on if this even happened or not.
That's the point, I think.
But he believes he's turning into a vampire.
I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. Kill
some
me.
Of that shit is pretty funny.
It's really funny. But you don't know if it's intentional.
Well, the first half of the movie, honestly, I was like, maybe this isn't that bad because it seems like it's purposely so, and maybe it's going somewhere. It'll have like an interesting,
statement or nope.
No, the last half of this was just, I was so done. Yeah. I was so done.
It kind of reminds me of The Room a little bit in that it's very low budget. It's really shitty. But the peak badness is all at the beginning as far as like performance shit.
Sure.
So as you go on,
it gets a little boring.
It gets tougher. It becomes more of a marathon.
Yeah. There are bits throughout though. Like he has this secretary that he just treats like a dog the whole movie. And like, first of all, you're sitting there, you're like, get a new job because like, well, this is unrealistic. Like
it's a movie that is about two things. It's about mental illness, undiagnosed mental illness, and workplace harassment.
Yeah.
Because
he's just
because he is a absolute he chases her through the building to the point where she pulls out a gun and says like, I have a gun and I will
don't rape me and shit. Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And the worst part is that there are parts of it where like people are like, oh, it's not that bad. My boss is an asshole.
Sure. That's true.
And it's like, in that regard, this time around, I was like, oh, they had a little something to say here.
Sure.
It's heavy-handed as fuck.
Holy shit, is it terrible though?
Yes.
Because the parts with her are just, it gets to the point where it's like, I don't understand how on earth in hell she would ever stay there.
Well, her mom does keep telling her you have to go to work.
That's true. Get a new job though.
I know.
Your
I agree.
brother works at that. Go work the register at the brother's auto shop.
Just say you're going to work and then just don't go to work and find another job. But yeah.
And he's just, the scenes with the therapist are great. I mean, his one scene where she like brings up like, yeah, well, whoever filed it would have misfiled it. And he's like, what?
You just put it in.
Yeah. Who would fuck that up? Or whatever he says. And he goes A, B, C, and he goes through the whole alphabet.
I've never misfiled anything. All right. Not once. Not one single time. He's like a child.
Here's my question.
Okay.
Does he think this was like a brilliant performance as he was doing it? Or does he know? Does he know? Is he self-aware of how ridiculous it is?
I believe that if he doesn't know, people who made this movie know because they purposefully made it very hard to get a hold of. This is, you have to go online and like I had to get it by getting like a double copy of it and a Jim Carrey movie called Once Bitten. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Maybe we'll watch that. Yeah. But
I was lucky enough. This is on Stars right now.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I guess they're
found it like on demand or whatever.
Wow, that's really that is fortuitous. That's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he knows that this is bad.
I mean, he has to, right?
I mean, what does he call it?
The director has to be telling him like, okay, more ridiculous. Like this, make it as ridiculous as you can.
Well, the other thing that made me think of it as The Room was like the review that's on the box for it says a deliciously hilarious dark comedy. And I'm like, that's exactly what you would say about a terrible movie.
So this has a 61% on Rotten Tomatoes.
How?
What do you chalk that up to?
I mean, this is why, and I've been saying this for a while, Rotten Tomatoes needs to allow you to have two, and only two, because we can't like let this get crazy, but 2 tomatoes. You have the ironic tomato and the genuine tomato. Because
like you think people they like it because it's so ridiculous.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't imagine somebody sitting down and being like, this is a well-crafted, well-thought-out, interesting movie. I can't imagine that.
I'm telling you, man, the first half of it, I was like, uh-oh, am I going to have to go into this review like saying I liked the movie? Because to me, it was like, okay, this is obviously purposefully fucking ridiculous. And I was kind of like with it for a while. Like kind of an interesting, dumb comedic prevent.
I mean, he's so cartoonish, though. It's hard. I'm a little impressed that you were even on board, even a little.
I was on board for the beginning, like the first half, and then it lost me.
Wow.
It just lost me because I got tired of it.
Because when he's like, oh, I will order out for my coffee.
I mean,
and like he's shaking his hand to an empty bed, and you're like, really?
I hate to tell you, I opened up Rotten Tomatoes. I mean,
don't do this to me. Come on now.
An odd blend of bitter comedy and genuine horror.
Okay, one, it's not scary in the least.
A vampire satire with real bite.
How old are these reviews?
Bierman's striking first feature leaves one trembling between corrosive laughter, edgy terror, and a residual sadness at Lowe's pitiful plight.
No.
I mean, I don't think it matters how old the reviews are.
I think it absolutely matters because there are people in the 90s who liked garbage.
You think that this...
I want to know the age.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I'm going to agree with. A strange movie, but a breakout role for Cage. Because if somebody saw him in this, like,
right.
I got to get this guy in some... Honestly.
I mean, he really rolled the dice on it, though, because he could have been doing direct to VHS movies off of this performance.
This is unbelievable. People fucking love this shit. What really makes this worth seeing is Cage's outrageously unbridled performance. Yeah, I mean, it's 61%.
Yeah, it's literally the only thing the movie has.
Yeah, right. That's it. Yeah, that's just it. That's the problem.
And you're saying it doesn't last the length of the movie.
No, because there's a point in the movie where you're tired of it.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're just done with it.
Also, he's the only interesting character in the movie. Everybody else, I mean, the psychiatrist is a terrible actress.
Well, and like it's the whole thing with the vampire showing up and like him dreaming about her or whatever the fuck's going on. Stupid. It gets super old after one time.
It's really funny too because like they do the whole like, did he cut himself shaving or did he really get bitten?
Oh my God, how pathetic was that?
And it was like, of course,
he
like,
cut himself shaving.
He cut himself shaving. Like there was no woman there when he went home. Like.
Yeah, he goes into the bedroom at one point and he like makes coffee for two and he brings in the coffee and just holds it over the empty spot in the bed.
Yeah.
And he's like, here, dear, or whatever.
And don't complain about it or I will order it out. I have done it before. It's like, what is this? What is this? This is insanity.
I have done it before. Yeah, this is the textbook bad Nicolas Cage. It is crazy to me. Just to get off topic and just talk about Nicolas Cage here.
Okay.
How can this guy be the same guy who was like in like Leaving Las Vegas and even Mandy? Like, how is this even the same fucking actor?
The thing is like,
because he can be good. People shit on him, but
well, the thing is Nick Cage is kind of like a wild he's a wild animal. He needs wrangling.
Sure, yeah.
He needs a director that can say like, "No, you pull it back a little bit. Let's do it this way," because he's gonna go 110% every fucking time.
Yeah, which is a good attribute.
I mean, I it's commendable.
You're right,
but no, in this he was just let off the chain and.
I mean, it is kind of fantastic.
It is for a while.
As far as him, he's all. I sent you a text when I started this. I said he's like great in this,
right?
Because he's like the worst. Of great.
The thing is, it kind of reminds me of like you get a friend. Maybe they have an ADHD child, and the kid's like running around doing something really fun, and he's really high energy, and you're like, wow, this kid's great. But if it's not your kid. About 45 minutes of that kid doing that, you're like, all right, done. Let's just cut him off.
Even if it is your kid.
Even if
you're fucking done with it.
So I think it's very akin to that.
That's how kids get left in dumpsters, Alex.
Jesus Christ. I said something offensive and you just had to one-up me.
You got to put him somewhere.
Unreal.
But yeah, no, I mean, the movie's terrible. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Would I recommend it? I would say go find clips of him in it.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
It's the best way to view the movie is just read the synopsis and watch the greatest highlights.
It's not as bad as like The Room or Troll 2 or something, but it's way harder to watch than that type of bad.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Because it is like, it's like like you don't have boom mics coming into the shot and shit.
Right. It's like a professionally made 90s movie.
I mean, it's super low budget. I mean, there was that bit where like the vampire's like sucking on his, and you can see like the pasty underneath her breast. And you're like, wow, you guys like missed that? Really? Okay.
Well, yeah. And what does she need that on for?
I know. She just rests her boob on him.
Yeah, bizarre.
I mean, I get it. Like, you're like, no, I'm not giving it
swap
away.
the actresses. Have the girlfriend play the vampire because she had no problem showing her tits, and have
the other one be the nice one.
I don't know what the fuck was going on. It was just weird. But there is the scene when he chases there's a scene I don't understand what happened. And I want to go over this quick. So he chases the secretary down the hall. Mm-hmm. She pulls the gun on him. Don't rape me, blah, 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 blah. You know, and there's that standoff. And he's, shoot me. Yeah. I'm a vampire or whatever. Yeah. And then she falls down. He bites her. I think he's like chewing on her neck.
I think he's like kissing her.
Yeah.
I think he's kissing her.
But then he like grabs the gun, shoots himself, but he doesn't really grab the gun because, you know, he doesn't kill himself.
It has blanks.
It has blanks. Yes, right. He's trying to blow his head off, whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Later on in the movie, he claims he raped her.
He didn't.
He's insane.
I think that's the idea. Is he's insane. Because she fainted. And then he just started kissing on her.
Kissed her neck or something, and then he left. Wow. And the ending was just the dumbest thing I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
He puts the stake in his own heart, and then the guy comes in and like pushes down on it to kill him. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was
absolutely terrible.
It's a really bad movie. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'd say you skip this one, folks. This one's not bad enough to justify watching. Like I said, go to YouTube.
You could watch the first half.
See, that's where it upsets me because like I was watching it. I was actually enjoying the movie. I was having a good time. Thought it was a pretty good movie. No.
I'm really surprised that you think that.
I'm telling you.
Because I was like, I was into it. This is some of the worst stuff.
I mean, it was terrible, but it was like, it felt to me like knowingly terrible. Like I was intrigued to see where it goes.
Okay.
But then it doesn't go anywhere.
I was going to say, we're back to the idea of narrative thrust.
Right. It doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't have any narrative thrust because once he gets bitten, and basically there are a couple hints earlier on in the movie, you know he's nuts. So you're just waiting. You're just like, right. I guess the idea is like, how is this going to unfold? But it unfolds in one of the most unsatisfying ways.
It was totally unsatisfying. Nothing interesting happens.
Yeah.
Nothing interesting happens at all.
So basically it's listen to people when they say that they're being harassed at work. And also maybe if somebody's acting fucking nuts, maybe tell somebody.
Yeah. Put them in the loony bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's enough of that.
Yeah. So we're on to Thwip Thwip. Spider-Man. What'd you think of this?
I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was great. There's one thing in particular about it that I did not like.
Okay.
But overall, it's another win for Marvel. I hate to sound like a cheese stick.
Right.
I mean, it's good. It's really good.
It's really good. I probably would give it I'd probably give it a B+.
I'm going to give it a B, straight B. Okay. I think that's fair.
I would not disagree. I think I wanted to like give it an A-, but there are a couple, I'd say the main problem with the movie, and then I'll get into the things I like, but the main problem is there are a few too many conveniences in the movie.
Sure.
That take me a little out of it. And if I'm talking as a Spidey purist, Spider-Man becoming the next Tony Stark and all of this, which is like, it's not a spoiler. It's like, it's in the trailers. Yeah. I'm not in love with it because Peter is not rich. He doesn't have things go his way. And so I'm hoping in the next movie, they sort of start taking things away from him.
It's okay. Yeah.
But beyond that, the comedy is great.
The first hour or maybe 40 minutes or so of this was fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Like hilariously funny. I was laughing quite a bit.
There are 2 absolutely fantastic action sequences.
Yes.
Tom Holland cements himself as the best Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I can't argue. It's not his fault if I don't like his movies as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He he's the most high school kid looking high school kid that they've had. He's got the witty charm about him. He's funny. Yeah, you're right.
He's got the range too.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say yeah. Let's see, what else is there? Jake Gyllenhaal he was fun.
Yeah, he was really good. He was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Yeah. Really enjoyed the Mysterio bits. The post-credit scenes are kind of game changers. Jackson's got a little bit of a...
I'm taking my stand. I'm done with him. I'm done. I'm done with post-credits. Yeah.
Drawing a line in the sand.
I'll still sit for the ones that you're supposed to sit for, but I'm not happy about it. They used to be like, oh, here's an extra little nugget. Maybe it leads into the next movie. Now we're talking about shit that like directly affects the narrative of the movie you just watched. Like if you left, it's a different movie.
Yeah.
That's a problem to me. You're making people stay.
Do we want to have this debate right now?
No, we should wait until spoilers.
Okay. All right. Let's see what else is there. They do some really interesting stuff with like the idea of like this is after the snap and after everybody comes back.
Sure.
That was some pretty
fun opening.
Yeah, fun opening.
Explanation. They had to explain it. Yep.
Yeah. A little bit heavy on there were some exposition dumps, I would say.
Yep. And I'm going to get into that.
But they're saved by good performances.
Not fully. And it's not because it's an exposition dump. It's because there's a certain character in this who, to me, has no depth whatsoever. And it's nothing against the person who played that character. And it's nothing against how cool the character was. He was fun. He was awesome to watch, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like this is the villain. This is the type of villain I'm not that interested in. And now I just spoiled who I'm talking about. But Mysterio. Yeah. I wasn't like, I think this villain was cooler than the Vulture, but fucking way more interesting of a full character.
Vulture was?
The Vulture. Yes.
I would agree with that. This is a different type of villain.
Right.
He's a little bit more maniacal.
This one reminded me of the Iron Man 3 villain. In his motivations.
Yeah. He's a little bit of a retread in that.
Right.
But also there was internal struggle there a little bit.
Did I spoil everything, by the way?
Yeah.
Or do people just know that?
If you're a comic fan, you know.
Yeah.
So you're
right.
So
if you're listening to this, you probably know.
Yeah, I would assume you do. If you didn't, sorry. Go and see it. It's a good fun time at the theater. It's escapist.
We'll tag this with spoilers.
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting into spoilers.
Yeah. My problem. All of the interesting character shit with Jake Gyllenhaal's character was in that one exposition dump scene. That you got to know all of his motivations are laid out in one convenient scene. Awesome scene, like with the bar and like the people,
it's
like
pretty
the
good
unveiling.
Reveal. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was not very interesting as far as they didn't do anything with that moving forward to me.
What we did is the scene after that where he's running through his next big scheme with his crew. Yes. And then you find out that he's willing to threaten the people that he was just giving accolades to the scene before. And you find out that, one, he's willing to kill Peter Parker, but he is not happy about it. He was pissed at that dude for like the whole, like, you left a hologram thing out. I want you to know, like, Peter Parker has to die and it's your fault.
Yeah,
like,
but
he
it's
was
still very
pissed.
one-note bullshit. He's a very one-note villain.
But he was not happy about it because he actually did like Peter, which I liked. I liked that. And I liked the fact that it was it was a little bit more of like a big brother, little brother relationship rather than the mentor mentee thing.
I thought it was lame. Like, okay, so he's full of shit the whole time. So to me, there's like no mentor relationship whatsoever. Like, sure, he says that he has that scene where he explains to you that he feels bad about killing Peter Parker, but he doesn't fucking show it as the movie goes on.
No, he starts getting.
Not only does he want to kill Peter Parker, but he has a whole scene where he like tortures him fucking psychologically like a fucking lunatic.
Right.
So
the thing is he's a character that I would argue believes he thinks one way, but actually really is another way.
Sure.
He thinks that he's not a bad guy.
He's just in the pantheon of my Spider-Man villains. This one is not. And this one might be one of the cooler ones.
He's
there
very
was a
cool.
scene in here that was fucking unbelievably awesome in my opinion.
The action sequence where he's fucking with him psychologically is
it even an action sequence, or is it like it's almost like a horror fucking scene?
It's great.
It is really good. And in IMAX, it looked fucking great.
Yeah. And but I mean there's to me it felt like there was he actually seemed sad about what he was doing to Peter there, even though you're right, it was very sadistic.
Yeah, I didn't feel that at all.
But at the end, I felt like when he was like, when Peter shows up and foils his big plan or whatever,
sure,
there was a real level of annoyance. He's like, all right, this fucking kid.
It was fun. The character was really fun. And it kind of fits with the movie because it's kind of a fun movie. It's like a fun, like comedy, whatever.
He's also got some like points, like it gets into the theme of the movie about like fake news, which is,
yeah, true. Yeah.
It gets into that. It also gets into, the importance that we have in society over superhero films. I mean, he literally says, nobody is willing to listen to you unless you're in a cape and tights.
Yeah, I loved that aspect of it where he's like, get this fucking thing off me. Like, I'm sick of wearing this stupid thing.
Yeah.
That was cool. The way that he like did the whole concept of the whole, everything's an illusion. It's all like, drones and shit was awesome.
That was awesome.
I loved like the character and the, like what that provided as far as the idea for fight scenes and shit.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I just wish there was more to the character.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Especially if you're going to go get Jake Gyllenhaal, who's like the shit.
I think the reason they got him is because he was written a little one note, and they're like, well, if we get a good actor, he'll be able to elevate what's on the page.
Could be. It's just too bad that that's what he's used for, because I would like to see Mysterio as like an ongoing.
That was the thing, is I wanted him to come back.
Right. Yeah. I feel like he would have been a great one, because there's not enough. I don't know enough about him yet for him to be like that interesting to me, but his shtick, his gimmick is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
and I wanted him to be a part of the Sinister Six with Michael Keaton. Just to see those two play off each other would have been a real treat.
Yeah, I would agree.
Let's see here. What else?
Well, hold on. Let me ask you this. This or Homecoming? What'd you like better?
I liked this more.
Did you?
Yeah. I think that Vulture is a little bit more engaging, but the action sequences and sort of like the narrative thrust in this one felt
you're into the narrative thrust.
Well, Midsummer got me thinking about it.
You need a little more narrative thrust.
I feel like there are some movies that are they rely on you to just be like, well, it's just interesting. And it's like, but is it?
And if it's not your taste, it won't be. But sometimes even if something's not your taste, a little bit of a nudge will.
That's what I think. Is I think sometimes some movies need a little bit, and I feel like this one didn't have it until it did in the second act, once that reveal comes in.
Right.
But once that's there, the movie picks the fuck up. But that doesn't mean that the first 45 minutes or an hour was bad, because it was a different type of movie. It was like a fun teen comedy.
This is one of those interesting ones where I feel like Homecoming was a better film probably, but I don't see myself watching Homecoming more than this one, because this one just had so much more cool shit in it. It was funnier. But like, as far as a narrative, like get me to care about what's happening, I felt more of that in Homecoming. Maybe
there was a good scene in this with Happy and Peter.
Happy's great, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where Happy comes and picks him up in the plane.
Yes,
that's it was the heart of the movie.
Sure.
That's the hoorah, let's go and fight the bad guy, and it was good. Nice little nod with the whole playing AC/DC. Not in love with the whole like, what was it? You'll never be the new Tony Stark, and now we're also going to show you being the new Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb, huh?
I mean, I'm fine with it to a certain extent, but like I said, Peter should not be the new Tony Stark.
I liked that when he built a new suit, it was like more of an OG style Spider-Man
Yes.
suit, though. It wasn't that metal shit, because I was a little concerned about that. At the beginning of the movie, I'm like, I don't like this metal Spider-Man shit.
Yep. I'm glad it's gone.
Yeah, me
I'm glad
too.
it's gone. It was fun and cool for
It's for
what
an
it was.
Avengers movie. Yeah, he needed the tool. Yeah, whatever.
He needed the tools for the job.
Yeah, right.
We can say that. Post-credit scenes.
Yeah. So fucking J.K. Simmons is back
It's
as
so great. That's the
best thing about to happen with the movie.
Well, and also and the reveal of Peter Parker's identity to
Yes.
society at large.
Sure.
What
Yep.
that does. I'm going to say it again. It's an opportunity for them to do like the Warriors type movie where Peter has to get.
You
from point
love that concept. Huh?
I
You just
love-
want all these movies to have.
Well,
that.
the idea of it's like a movie of attrition where somebody's trying
Yeah,
to
sure.
survive the gauntlet.
It's
you
like
know,
horde mode in Gears of War.
Yes.
Waves of enemies.
Yes, that's interesting because you get to have the dude get beat up and the stress level gets amped
Sure,
up as
yeah.
the movie goes on. That would be fantastic. Imagine if that's your next movie where it's the Sinister Six.
What do you think about not having any time for like MJ to be the only one who knows that he's Spider-Man? Because I feel like that was like a big thing in the last trilogy they did. The last real trilogy they did, not counting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
just pretend that those
because there's a
didn't
lot of
happen.
interesting character shit you can do there. I kind of get the idea of like, okay, we've done that before,
Yeah,
so who
yeah.
cares? But I do like their chemistry and relationship.
They were great.
Yeah, they're good.
They were really
Zendaya
good.
is good. I like
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
But
Jacob Batalon as Ned.
the buddy,
he's great.
he's fucking hilarious.
I mean, they got a great cast.
Dude,
in
the
this.
Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley as
Yeah.
the teacher, and
Yes.
then you have Black. What's his name? Black from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
BJ Smooth, JB
yeah.
Smooth.
JB Smoove.
God, he's awesome.
He's so good.
He's a great addition to the
But
cast.
yeah, I mean, it's a fun fucking movie. And it's a fun, like, romantic comedy almost, like teenage movie,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, it's really good.
It's a road trip movie. It's a comedy, and it's a superhero movie.
Post-credit scenes. So
so-
that one I really liked. I think that's the end of your movie, though.
So this is where, like, you got your stance, and I was like, Jackson might have a point. And then I was like, well, I think the reason is, and I think the reason I don't have a problem with it is, one, it's actually something where it's not just like, oh, it's a fun little joke.
Sure,
I get
yeah.
tired of those.
I mean,
And
it kind of could be, though. We don't know, like, what their plan is moving forward.
what do you mean?
Like, with him.
With J.K. Simmons? Well, I mean, the thing
You
is
can
that
only
it
assume
actually,
he's-
the thing is that it sets up the next
That's
movie.
true. You're right. But
So I like that. And I like the fact that I feel like the reason is we want to have a fully contained movie. And if we ended on him swinging away with MJ, that's like, and it's like technically the end of the movie. So you're like, okay, boom, solve the conflict, whatever. It's a fully contained movie. Nobody can say like we left it off on a cliffhanger and then technically our post-credit scene is a cliffhanger. I think that was the idea.
it's you left it off with a cliffhanger. You just made the audience sit there for another 5 fucking minutes for no reason. That's what you did.
2 minutes. I mean, if we're honest.
Well, whatever it is.
But yeah, I mean, it's
2 minutes plus whatever the scene was. So maybe another minute, 3 minutes. I don't know. But either way.
I will absolutely take this over, Groot says something funny
True.
to Star-Lord.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
right. But the point is, if you miss that, who cares? You
Yeah.
can get up and leave the theater when it's something like that,
Right.
and you don't care. This was to me. If you see this movie, you have to stay through the end credits. You have to. You have to.
Well, you really do. And that brings me to the last one where we find out that Nick Fury in this movie was not actually Nick Fury, but one of the Skrulls.
Awful.
I liked
awful, garbage, awful, terrible, stupid. Doesn't make any sense.
fully like it. The reason
course you do.
The reason I like it is
Chill.
The reason I like that is because the whole movie, it was bothering me because I'm like, well, this is Nick Fury we're talking about.
Yeah, I've seen Nick Fury 25 times. He looks exactly how he is in this fucking movie.
No.
Exactly.
I'm saying like a teenager is dodging Nick Fury's calls should not be possible. The fact that he was able to leave
It wasn't possible. He fucking went and tracked him down in fucking Germany or whatever.
I know, but the fact that he even... I'm sorry, it's Nick Fury. It's Nick fucking Fury. He's not going to be able to get out of New York. It was like at least a couple days.
This is ridiculous because you know damn well had they have not put that scene at the end, you would have had no problem believing that this was Nick Fury.
No, that was, in all honesty,
bullshit.
Before that,
I'm calling bullshit.
Well, you can call bullshit,
I'm
but you
calling
don't.
it.
But you don't know because you're not inside my head.
I don't care. That was a terrible, dumb fucking thing. You've got this guy on the posters of all your fucking for this movie. He's in the movie. When I watch this again, I'm not watching it as, oh, that's the green guy from Captain Marvel. I know it's Nick Fury. It was just a dumb fucking thing they tacked on to the ending.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. I thought it was good because I also thought Nick Fury just seems way too willing to trust in this. He seemed kind of dumb to me, like the dumbest I feel like I've felt Nick Fury has been probably throughout. And if I'm really honest, I think what happened was somebody read the script and was like, Nick Fury comes off like an idiot in this movie. Like, you realize that, right?
That's possible.
And then they were like, boom, it wasn't Nick Fury.
That's possible, but I still don't like that.
I don't like it either. I don't know. I don't like that they decided instead of fixing their script to make it that.
That is a good theory, though. Like maybe somebody was like, well, wait a minute. Why would Nick Fury believe this guy?
Happy tells off Nick Fury. That just would not happen. Fury wouldn't
I
take it.
disagree with that.
I just don't think Fury doesn't take people doing that to him. Like, he just doesn't. Like, he lets Stark sort of get away with it.
I don't know. I disagree with that because this is after, you know what? Fuck you, dude. You disappeared for 5 years. You're back. Fuck off. I don't know. Like, I feel like everything's different. So that type of shit, like the fact that Happy would talk shit to Nick Fury doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Nick Fury is a goofy, douchey fucking guy with an eye patch who acts like a hard ass. That's what he is.
But he also had like tabs on everybody, and
Whatever.
I'm just saying, like, dude's got connections. He was smart.
But
he's been very smart up to this point in the series.
Either way, here's my problem with that. So not only do I not buy it because I thought I was watching Nick Fury the whole time, there was nothing outside of Nick Fury's character that was big enough for me to notice. It's classic Nick Fury. It's classic his partner. They're the same fucking characters that I've seen for 20 movies. The other problem is I shouldn't have to sit through an entire credit scene to get context to the movie I just watched. It changes the entire movie. That's stupid. It needs to be in the movie.
So, okay, we just differ fundamentally on this because I like the idea that it's something that adds to the movie that you just saw. I like that.
I don't think it adds to it at all.
Well, it alters it.
Yeah, but why isn't it in the movie then? The credits are supposed to show me who was involved in making the movie I just watched. That's the goal of the credits. If I want to stay and see who was involved in making it, then I sit through the credits. If I don't, then I get my ass up and I leave the theater.
Right.
This one, first off, problem with the first mid-credit scene is that is in the same scene as literally the last scene of the movie. So you could have just had that be the end of the movie. It would have fit perfectly. They're swinging around. They land.
You could.
That's the end of your movie. So that's the ending. Then you make people sit through, 9 million names. I think the buddy who he brought to the movie was like, they just showed who the caterer in London was. So they make you sit through 9 million fucking names, and then you sit through it. And then at the end, you get a scene that basically says, oh, that movie you just watched? Yeah, you were wrong the whole time. That's not him. That's somebody else. It changes the entire movie. That's a problem to me. I'm just done with it. I'm done with it. It's a gimmicky bullshit thing. It was neat when it was like, oh, Thor's hammer. Like, we're going towards Thor. That's a neat thing, little nugget that I can stay for if I think it's worth staying for and I see it. I'll be like, oh, that's neat. This is like changing the movie. Like, okay, if you got up and you left the theater before the mid-credit scene, before the post-credit scene, and somebody was like, dude, isn't that crazy? Like, everybody knows that Spider-Man
at this point, that's on you.
No, see, that's bullshit.
We've had over a decade of Marvel movies establishing that you need to stay for the post credits. If you don't want to stay, that's on you.
No, that's not true though, because you didn't used to have to stay. I used to leave because I knew what it was going to be. It was going to be the kind of thing you just mentioned. It was going to be like a dancing Groot scene or whatever.
And everybody said, we're tired of that. We're tired of sitting through the credits if it's not going to be anything. That's what people basically came out and said. And now we got something else. The point is that you don't like it at all as a concept.
I liked it when it was that. I preferred that because then I can leave if I want and I don't have to feel like I'm missing something.
I think you're kind of in the minority on that one then. Because I think people got tired. I think people kind of like the nudge, nudge, wink, wink of the one in Homecoming where Cap comes in and isn't it disappointing that you wait so long? But that was so meta because the commentary was there that you wait so long and then there's nothing really of value there.
Okay, I understand that, but I liked it because I could leave. That's what you're missing here.
Okay.
I didn't feel hurt because I missed something. You know what I'm saying? Like especially with how long these movies are getting too. Like you sit there for 2 hours and 20 minutes, you kind of want to leave.
I don't know. There's a part of me that says, I get what you're saying, but I also think I just discussed the movie in the theater instead of walking out into the hall and discussing it out there.
It doesn't add anything to the experience. Nothing. You can put that shit in the movie. It's the same. There's nothing added to the movie-going experience by making your audience sit through the credits. There's no reason to do that besides a gimmicky bullshit thing.
Right, which is
I'm getting heated here, by the way.
I know you are.
But it is totally what it is. It's a little gimmick so that you stay for the post clickbait. Is there a post-credit scene? Is the stay for the post-credit scene?
You're not wrong because you're not wrong because they have generated an entire business around the idea of what
it's kind of crazy.
I mean, but that's the whole point is like Marvel does these things so that there is buzz, there is talk, there is, you know.
And I actually like the Ant-Man 2 one. I thought was a good idea. That's one that I like. Because
I hated the Ant one playing the drums at the end. I hated that.
No, I'm talking about Ant-Man 2 when they showed...
they disappear.
They disappear.
Right.
Like, to me, that's kind of clever because it's like, it doesn't change the context of the movie you just watched, but it is huge for the next movie.
Right, which is the exact same as the post-credits one in this regarding J. Jonah Jameson, because it has a huge context, it doesn't change anything about the movie. The only one that changes anything is the Nick Fury one.
Yeah, but that one fits so well just into the end of the movie that I feel like it would have been better, a better ending. Like, this is an interesting thing, because usually it's not like the mid-credit scene is basically just where it left off.
Right.
Like this one more swing and you could have just had the scene,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that one, okay. The last one though.
That's the one where you got the real beef, I feel.
Yeah, that was just, I don't get it. It doesn't, I mean, okay, you've set up that Samuel L. Jackson is in space, right? Yeah. He's like commanding, or was he like drunk? He almost seemed like he was like out of it, but.
I think he was like taking a nap.
He was like taking a vacation?
Yeah. I really like, I'll tell you, I mean, it sets up that the Skrulls are still in play. It sets up that maybe we don't. It also kind of fits in with the theme of like, not everything as it appears to be.
Right. And that's true. And I suppose, I mean, hey, maybe the Skrulls have been these characters for decades and we just don't know.
I mean, in all honesty, there's an
wait until the next retcon move.
There's an entire big arc in the comics called Secret Invasion where they've been invading us for years.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like that's the other thing too, is it got me hyped for that idea because it feels like they're leading you down that way. So that's exciting for me. But really, the real reason I liked it was because walking out, if that wasn't there, I was going to be like, Nick Fury just did not feel like Nick Fury felt like manufactured levels of incompetent in this.
Yeah, but so now you're saying that other guy's fucking incompetent too? I didn't think he was incompetent.
I thought he was pretty incompetent. I mean, the fact that it got to the point where like...
No, I'm saying like in the other movie he was in, like Captain Marvel, I didn't think he was incompetent. Like I don't take him as a dumb character.
No, that's my point, is I didn't take him like a dumb character. He acted stupidly in this one, in my opinion.
We're talking about the Skrull guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have
He
walked out and been
he
like,
acted
if you
like
would have
Nick
said
Fury.
Nick Fury was being dumb, I would have been like, yeah, he was being kind of dumb, but he was Nick Fury. You
Well,
know
yeah,
what I mean?
But he
Like,
was also, but the Skrulls are actors. I mean, he acted exactly
Sure,
like
but-
Ben Mendelsohn.
but it doesn't, like, the movie doesn't get better to me because that didn't add anything to this movie. That's my problem with it. It didn't make the movie more interesting to me. It doesn't, like, I wasn't like, oh, blown away that it wasn't actually Nick Fury. It was just kind of annoying. I was annoyed.
That's fine.
It was annoying.
it's in our title, so I
Right.
thought it was. I thought it
I
was
was
good.
never bored.
No, it's
I
definitely.
certainly was never bored.
Yeah, it was a very breezy movie.
I feel like we have J. Jonah Jameson coming back and being.
That's
that's
great.
just fucking great.
And it fits. I mean, that fits with the whole like fake news thing too. Like this whole movie was dealing with the idea,
and it's perfect that like he'd be the one that gets the tape to tell everybody that Spider-Man's bad.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely like I'm really excited for the Marvel like Spider-Man movies
We have
moving
to
forward.
pray that it's Peter Parker working at the Bugle or whatever.
I need one movie of it. I don't need it to be forever, but I need one movie of it. You know what I mean?
like him working as the photographer.
I feel like it can't be the next one though, because like
he's still got to graduate high school and shit.
and he's got to deal with the fact that everybody knows he's Spider-Man. So you can't just be like, oh, Peter Parker working
yeah,
for
but
my.
you have to work J.K. Simmons into the next movie.
Oh,
Like a big
absolutely.
role.
I mean, in all honesty, I think it's going to be one of those. Oh God, I'm super excited because like I love the Dark Avengers. It's just Norman Osborn,
sure,
runs his own Dark Avengers, and I like the idea that like J. Jonah Jameson loves Iron Man. I mean, you caught that line, like Tony Stark's going to go down as the greatest superhero that's ever lived, and I like the idea that he's going to be like he'll be on board for another like business type superhero. So when Norman Osborn comes in and he's like, "I'm Iron Patriot," he's going to be way the fuck on board for a Norman Osborn
he's just
funded.
the best.
It's going to be real fucking good. And then you set up like the idea of like, okay, there's the Sinister Six, and you could do Dark Avengers
hold
versus
on now.
regular Avengers.
Marvel, their stance thus far has been trilogies, right?
Yes.
So there's only going to be one more Spider-Man?
I really hope not. I mean, if I'm honest, like I could watch Tom Holland into his 40s.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Like if we're honest, I would love to see like Peter becomes like a professor at one point in the comics. Like there's a bunch of things you can do with him. And part of the fun of watching Peter Parker is watch him grow up.
Yeah, sure.
And if he just stays a kid forever, that's just not interesting.
I want the crossover Tobey Maguire
one.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I would really like that. I mean, I've been rattling off theories about what they could do in my head.
Well, and they even made J.K. Simmons, and maybe that's a purpose just because he's older, but he's bald.
Yeah.
So it would actually like they could somehow like. I mean, he's involved.
Here's
in
the
this.
JJ
Right.
from this universe.
No matter what universe he's in, he's the same
He's
guy.
the constant.
Yes,
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so in the list of Superman movies or Spider-Man movies, excuse me, where does this one go?
I think this one goes under Spider-Man 2 and under Into the Spider-Verse.
Certainly. I don't know. I might even put it behind the original Sam Raimi.
It's
one.
really tough. The problem with me is like I don't like Tobey as Spider-Man, but everything else about those movies is pretty good. Oh, and I'm not the biggest fan of how Mary Jane is written in those movies.
It's a very Sam Raimi-esque movie.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it kind of more fun in another way. I don't know. It's weird because like as far as like character bits and like actual moments, it feels more like a real cohesive like movie.
It's a very emotionally engaging.
Yes.
The first two are very emotionally engaging.
And the new ones are not that. They have a little bit of that, but
they're going for
they're Marvel movies.
They're going for even a lighter tone than most Marvel movies. Right. They're like more akin to like an Ant-Man movie than a Cap or Iron Man movie.
I don't think we give Raimi enough credit for how awesome those two Spider-Man movies
were really
actually
good.
are. When you think about it, because they were fun. They
were
lighthearted,
really
fun movies, but they also had like the dramatic element of them. And yeah, they're
really comic
fucking
accurate
solid.
too. They were really
I don't
comic.
know much about that.
I loved that they were so comic accurate. Other than I did not like that they started with Mary Jane. I wish they had started with Gwen Stacy and moved
but they
on
were
to
trying
Mary
to
Jane.
jump straight into the
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, the death of Gwen Stacy is huge.
Sure.
It's like the next biggest death in comics behind Uncle Ben.
Okay.
You know, so it's like, do that. That's how you end your first trilogy, is the death of the first love. That's how you end your next Tom Holland movie, is Zendaya dies.
Ooh.
I don't want it to happen because they're a great couple, but that's how you do it. Because it's a real consequence for him having because he's been pretty, here's my identity.
Yeah, exactly. No, the second Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 2, when he's like trying to juggle the whole being Spider-Man and his relationship and whatever.
Yeah.
Best shit that this franchise or character has done, in my opinion.
Well, and if I'm honest, now the answer or the question becomes, how can Peter get himself out of this? How can he be like,
sure,
you know, and it's like, well, you could have Matt Murdock show up as his lawyer.
Ooh, Matt Murdock.
That would be pretty good. Or you could have Doctor Strange come in and like do some timey-wimey bullshit and alter the reality so nobody knows he's Spider-Man anymore.
You could.
There are things that you could do. I'm just really excited for the next one.
Yeah, I'm pumped. They're good. They're good movies.
Yeah. So last thing.
Shit we watched?
Shit we watched.
Okay.
Whoa. Shit we watched.
So I started Stranger Things. I'm 2 episodes in. You said you finished it already.
I finished it already.
So far I like it quite a bit.
Okay.
My favorite character right now going into this and coming from last season is the douche guy.
Oh, right.
I forget the guy who was in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh. He's like a poor man Zac Efron kind of. I don't know. I find him funny.
That's pretty harsh, but yeah, he is funny.
Yeah.
He's funny. I mean, we'll get into it next week.
Yeah, sure.
I will be really interested to see how people react to this season.
I think it's getting good buzz. I don't know, but yeah,
I'm keeping my review close to my chest.
I know you said that. But yeah, other than that, I watched Dark.
Mm-hmm. You finished that?
I finished Dark, and we're gonna go into in depth next week. But yeah, it's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Give you another week to watch it, folks.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
I mean, do yourself a favor if we're honest.
Yeah. It is really good. Although my brother called me and he said it was like a poor man Stranger Things, and I got mad. I was so mad I almost hung up the phone on him.
It's just wrong.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry, but the storytelling is just way more advanced. And it's way more impressive.
It's not really the same. I mean, they're both weird sci-fi.
They start similar. They end very differently.
You're right. They start literally the first episode is similar. You're right.
Beyond that, the comparisons are superficial.
There's some moments.
Yeah. It's a fucking amazing show.
It really is ridiculous.
It's really, really fucking good.
But yeah.
Let's see.
What'd you watch? Because you're going to be the bulk of shit we watched this week, I think.
I went and watched the special edition Endgame.
Avengers, did you?
Yeah, I did. It's not worth going for.
That's what I heard.
I mean, the Stan Lee tribute was real nice. I feel like it should have been there in the first place, though.
Oh, really? What is it? Is it like?
I mean, it's just kind of like
before, after.
It's after everything. They actually do the whole like Sound of Iron Man clanging thing at the very end, and then they go into like their special feature things. But yeah, that was really touching. I mean, the movie itself is a reason to go see it. You know, I don't need the extra stuff,
sure.
but it was nice to see it again. I had been planning on seeing it again. So, yeah, I would say go see it again if you liked it, but you don't need to see this stuff. It'll be on the Blu-ray. Let's see.
Stan Lee tribute. That's a worthy end credit scene.
Oh, they had a Hulk scene for you.
That's what I heard. I heard it was a disaster because it wasn't rendered.
It's not rendered. It's not
so
finished.
Don't show it. I don't know.
I'm fine with it. I was fine with it because I actually kind of liked the scene. There's a really nice homage to Die Hard in it.
Nice. But your average film goer doesn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a misstep by them.
But I feel like, well, like I said, the whole re-release thing was a misstep in my opinion. It was botched. It was too early. You didn't put enough good content in there. You could have finished that. I don't know. it was a little botched for me. It wasn't pushed very hard either. Like, I feel like only the big fans knew about it. You know, it wasn't like it was on TV.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered if it was. Yeah.
So
it's weird that they did it.
I'll be interested to see the other thing that I watched. I'll be interested to see what you think about this on Neon Genesis.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that too.
I've been watching that more. Finding more problems with it as I go along. It's
standard. I feel like this is your curse with
anime,
with especially anime. But it seems like shows in general.
Yeah. So it's fine, but there are certain elements that just don't work for me as well as I think a standard anime fan.
Okay. You mean those dumb?
I think there is a type of person that's okay. Okay. I just don't like some anime humor. It really draws me out of anime, a lot of it. Like, okay, they have characters say these long lines in unison, and you're like, I understand that, like, Japan
is supposed to be funny?
It's supposed to be funny. It's like, oh, isn't it funny? Those two guys said the exact same thing to this person, but it's like, I understand Japan is like a communal society, so sometimes like you'll get a little bit of like a yes, like two people will say yes at the same time, or like, don't worry, we got it, or whatever. You know, they'll say something short, but these guys say something like, oh, don't worry, you take care of the aliens and we'll take care of Mrs. Kusinagi because she's hot. And like they say that at the same time. It's like, how are you guys like Siamese twins? Like, what's going on here? You're just not
buying the...
I don't like it. It takes me out of the show. It's not humor that works for me. It's lazy.
Is this something where you get annoyed and mad and say something to the TV? Because I know this is a trend
pause
for you
it.
too.
I pause it. I pause it and say to my girlfriend, "That was fucking dumb," and then I keep going.
Okay.
So yeah, that's annoying. Last thing I watched My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, which was like a short little 90-minute anime movie. That they did based on the show. Okay. It's kind of like a one-off thing. It's basically like a long episode. Basically that. Really not worth seeing. The animation's nice, but the story isn't really great. No real core. Not a ton of messages there. The music and animation are great, which is consistent with the show. So beyond that, only check it out if you're a diehard, I would say. But that's my shit.
That's it? That's all we have?
That's all we have.
We've been really low on shit we've watched. Because of these TV shows, I think.
I mean, we're saving Stranger Things and Dark for next week.
That's
so
true.
We actually would have very big shit we watched if we weren't saving it.
If we weren't saving it. That's a good point. All right. Well, I mean, I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I think...
hey, tell us what you think of post-credit scenes.
I'll be interested. I'll be interested to see where everybody's...
Do you like them when they are, like, valuable? Do you like them better like I do when they're just fluff? Yeah, let us know. A couple of dudes at boredandanoid.com, or just go to the website, post in the thread for this episode, or hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Let us know.
I will say that I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that for a second.
An epilogue.
Yeah, the epilogue to the episode. I like the idea of them. I don't think that the execution has always been there, but I like the idea of just sit through. It's a fun little thing, you know. I mean, that's why like the Nick Fury one is so great, is because it's huge. It redefines the universe.
Okay.
You know?
That's why I don't like it.
You don't like the Nick Fury one?
At the end of this movie?
No, I mean Nick Fury in
the
Iron
original.
Man, in Iron Man.
That's a perfect one.
Yeah.
That's a perfect one. I thought you were talking about this one.
Like I will take one that redefines the world because it's more world building. Doesn't necessarily belong in the movie, you know, like
how about Iron Man showing up at the end of Incredible Hulk was another good one.
That one wasn't even a post-credit scene.
That was built just like one, though.
Right, it was.
Yeah.
Was there a post-credit scene for that one? I don't fucking know.
Maybe Universal doesn't do post-credits.
Maybe. I don't know. There are good ones.
That's funny. Okay, so now I just backed myself into a corner because that's one that belongs as a post-credit scene, because the end of The Incredible Hulk should have been his eyes turning green when he's doing that meditation.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have cut to the other scene.
Yeah.
They should have gone to the credits.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's the movie.
Right.
But there's this neat little moment where Tony Stark shows up and fucks with William Hurt at the end.
Right. Well, I mean, like, okay, the one post Avengers in the first one where it's revealed that it's Thanos.
Okay. Yep.
That's kind of the way I look at like the Nick Fury one a little bit, because it recontextualizes everything. Because if you're a comic fan, you're like, oh shit, that actually means something.
But your average Joe, it doesn't mean much to, and
right,
it doesn't
they were just
change
like, oh,
the
here's
movie. Right.
Yeah, You're just like, oh, here's a big bad.
Sure.
For me, it's the idea of what that reveal that they were Skrulls means is like Secret Invasion could be coming. Skrulls are now apparently part of our society. We just don't know it. That's kind of big. That's kind of a game changer. So I like that.
I don't like that I watched the whole movie assuming they were characters, and it's almost like a twist that doesn't feel earned to me, if that makes sense.
Shyamalan, what a twist.
Yeah. If that was a Shyamalan twist, he'd be butchered. That would be a lame Shyamalan twist.
It would be kind of a lame Shyamalan twist.
Really
but I mean, we expect more out of Shyamalan.
That's true. Yeah, he is the twist master.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have to say this week. You've dragged this episode long enough.
It's actually really short.
Well, goodbye, folks.
Goodbye.
Oh, I'm hot.